All right, good evening, and you are very welcome to the Friends and Family Show. This evening, we're about to talk about something that's very sensitive. But here's what. Hold on one second. We're coming to you live from our studio here at Channel 1 at number 5 Ola Hansen Lane in Tesano. My super special name is Noyo Kworte. This evening, we're getting personal. We're going to get a bit emotional. We'll be happy. But that's because on this show, we show our emotions. We bring out everything that we're supposed to bring out. Every feeling that we're supposed to bring it out. On times that we have to be extremely happy, we do so. The show is super interactive, and you can be part of it. I'd want for you to send me messages when you have to. If you have to contribute to what we're talking about, you're free to do so. We're talking about this. My stepmother treated me really wrong or really bad. What now? How should I deal with it? You know, it's quite sensitive, right? There are some families that do have these kind of relationships. We're getting into that tonight. You're very welcome one more time to that favorite show, the Friends and Family Show. We'll be right back.
Looking for the latest buzz in Ghana's entertainment world? Welcome to Ghana Weekend, your ultimate destination for all things creativity and entertainment.
Stay in the loop with breaking news, exclusive interviews, and then insider stories from your favorite creatives and stars. From music, movies, fashion and art, lifestyle and culture, Ghana Weekend brings it all together. Get a daily dose of entertainment, discover new talent, and never miss out on the creativity that defines our vibrant culture.
Stay connected with us across all platforms. Follow us on Instagram with the handle Ghana Weekend, on X Ghana Weekend, on TikTok Ghana Weekend, at Ghana Weekend TV on YouTube for the latest in entertainment, travel, and everything Ghana. Don't miss out. Join the Ghana Weekend family today. Ghana Weekend, where entertainment meets creativity. Visit GhanaWeekend.com now.
All right, welcome back to the Friends and Family Show live on Channel 1 TV. We're coming to you from our studios on number 5 Ola Hansen Lane in Tesano. My name is Noyo Kworte, and tonight we're talking about stepmothers. Well, my stepmother didn't treat me right. What now? How should I maintain the relationship? What does she want from me? What should we do? How should I handle this now that I'm grown? Well, you can be part of the show, and this minute I have two wonderful people in the studio who are joining me to have this conversation. To my right, I have Michael Anot Tinkran. You're very welcome. Thank you. He is a procurement professional. And then the lady is Miss Deborah Mensah, who's a lecturer. Yeah. Right. You're very welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
We're talking about stepmothers tonight.
Okay.
There are lots of settings that have, stepmothers. Okay. And we have, my stepmother always hated me. Now what? Yeah. When I was growing up, my stepmother hated me. How am I going to handle this? First of all, I'm going to ask, do you have a stepmother? Did you grow up in that family?
No.
No. Do you have a stepmother?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay. So we can get a bit personal.
Oh, yes.
No or yes?
Oh, yes.
Thank you. Okay. So then, first of all, let me just ask you, how's like a family with stepmothers or probably a step-parent? How's it like? Okay. Are you comfortable? You know, in the beginning, I know nobody's going to ask you when there's another person is coming. Nobody's going to ask you how you feel about it. Mm-hmm. But then definitely you realize that as time goes on, then there's a step parent. Yes. How do you handle that? Like, how's the setting like?
Okay, so with my personal experience, I grew up having them around already. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So my mother wasn't in the family, wasn't in the home. Yeah, when I grew up. So I ended up staying with my stepmothers for a while before I came to stay with my mother. So when I was staying with my stepmother, I mean, being around her, it was interesting.
When you say interesting.
I would say interesting because it came with a lot of mixed feelings. You know, sometimes you are okay, sometimes you are happy, other times you are sad. Sometimes you wished your mother was around. Other times you feel like, okay, well, you came to meet it there, so I mean, you have to endure and enjoy. When there's enjoyment, you enjoy. When there's endurance, you endure.
Right.
So that's how it is. But you know, I see that in the Ghanaian family system, actually, you see a lot of step families. Yeah, and my family is not, you know, an exemption. For example, my dad had another wife, and before I knew it, there was another wife.
Hello.
Yeah.
So like, making 3? Okay.
You know, and I had the opportunity, I call it an opportunity, to stay with both of them.
Right.
Yeah, so I stayed with stepmother 1, and then I stayed with stepmother 2.
Okay.
And there were, you know, some similarities and differences, but that would be on another talk.
Right.
It was very interesting.
Okay. Have you ever experienced that, or do you know any like family members who are probably cousins?
I know of friends who have been in such situations where some were actually used to even sell water, whilst the other kids in the family, I mean, the woman's kids, were schooling. You know, some situations like that.
No, like, okay.
All right.
The original
man's child.
Okay. With her.
With her.
Okay.
All right. Who was schooling. All right.
And then the other
stepchild in the family was out there selling pure water.
So where was he or she mother?
Oh,
no,
his mother was dead.
Oh, right. But that's not fair.
Yeah. And then I think that child had to go to more like, say, a Saito school, whilst the others were enjoying the preparatory school and all that. So.
Wow. Okay. So, you know, definitely there are families who have step parents who are nice. What do you think that the percentage is going to be like, you know, in this kind of setting? Do you think that we have much more nicer stepmothers than we know of the wicked ones? Do you think what's the ratio like?
In my opinion, I think I would do 40 for the good one, 60 for the bad one.
Really?
I mean, from the experiences, things I've heard from people, experience and all that, I think ideally 40 for the good ones, 60 for the bad ones. Maybe she has a different opinion though.
Well, I think so. I would agree with him.
Okay.
Because, you know, being or staying with a stepmother or a step child, there's always this innate, you know, this natural feeling of being nice to your biological child.
Now, why is that?
You know, it's
anyway, it still
really
doesn't debunk the
natural
statement. People say that Shema meant to say one kasa.
Exactly.
You know, that's to say that taking care of yours or someone taking care of someone, asking someone to take care of it for you. It's not like you take care of it by yourself.
Yeah.
That's to say that probably you would rather take care of what belongs to you much more better than what belongs to somebody else. But I don't think it's right.
It's always a natural pull.
You think it's a natural thing, like
suppose you have your biological child here, and then you have your stepchild here. I mean, you would always be drawn towards your own child and maybe your stepchild's secondary. You know, no matter how much you love your...
let's say that we can't ratio the love like that. We can't distribute the love 100 sometimes. I know people say that, oh, I love you just the way I love myself. But there's something small that you get, like, I don't know, especially if there's a little bit of resentment from the other person's probably parents or relation or something. It makes it a bit difficult. But anyway, let's do this. So is it fair to judge the stepmother forever by how they treated you? If you've gone through that, okay? That time where like you've gone through the scrubbing, the beating, the
talking.
Yeah, all the painful things that you can't talk about when you're like probably little. Is it fair to hold on to it now that you're grown?
Well, so let me come in this way.
Right.
I think if you say fair, it's in what context, all right? Basically in the sense that growing up with a stepmother, if my stepmother happens to be hard on me, all right, two things. Either it's hardening me in a way or it's making me timid.
Okay.
All right, so depending on however I was treated, I think I'm going to grow in such way. And I mean, I don't know how to put it, but
right, I get what you're saying. So you're trying to say that it depends on how you come out of it.
Exactly.
That's going to determine if you're letting it go or you're still holding on to it.
Exactly.
Right. What do you think?
Well, I think basically you shouldn't. I think you shouldn't really hold a grudge against her,
Hey.
Forever. And you can judge the act.
Okay.
Right? You can judge the act, but don't judge the person. Because if you really want to heal, there's need for you to speak out the truth, and that's judging the act. Judging the act that, well, she treated me badly, and this isn't right. You have to acknowledge that is judging the act, but you can't judge the person, well, because change happens, growth happens, and for instance, a bad stepmother may treat you because of her own experiences, immaturity, what she may be going through with your father, she's not saying or she's not speaking out. A lot goes on. So maybe you face the consequence of all those secret things.
But that's not my fault.
It is not fair. It is not right. But that's what's happening. And she would grow out of it eventually.
Till when?
Oh, growth comes and change happens. You get it.
Hey, it's hard though.
But I don't.
It's really hard. It's hard.
I mean,
but
for
you can't
me,
forever hold her against what she did. Because, for example, in my own experience, I see a lot of growth. And my relationship with my own stepmother, I see a lot of growth.
Okay.
The relationship we had in the past is way different from how we relate now. Yes. And I see that it's because she's more mature, she understands things better. And even personally, I feel like I'm more mature to handle things. The stuff I used to think about, oh, this person, maybe she doesn't like me. Or maybe she likes me so much. But then I grew out of it and I realized that, no, it's not like she really likes me like that. But, situations, maybe she was doing that to win some favors from this person. Or I also grew up to realize that, okay, so she was treating me like that not because she didn't like me, but because maybe she wasn't also receiving what she wanted from the source. So like I happened to face the consequence. You get?
No, you can't use me as bait for me, so I'm somebody's child. You can't
exactly the point I was
Yeah, you can't use me as bait.
I know.
You can't use it as bait.
A lot. That's what actually determines how they relate. They see you in a certain way. So if they see you as a bait to win their husband's hearts, they would love you, they would cherish you and all of that. But if they see you as a threat, that's where the danger is. Exactly. Yes. So you end up,
Okay, so when step parents actually, okay, I know that we put the topic on as my stepmother treated me. So let's go a bit diverse right now. Let me just coin the question in a way that, what if both parents, whoever treated you whichever way, comes to ask for forgiveness? Would you forgive and forget? Or you forgive and leave the forget hanging?
If you ask me, I would say I would forgive, in the sense that that's my father's wife, ideally. Okay. So I'm forgiving her as a mother, but not forgetting the whole story.
Yeah.
It's going to be quite difficult to forget, because there are wounds, and I don't think it takes a day to,
longer time
come
to
on,
heal.
it's not going to happen. It will be difficult. On my part, it will be very difficult to forget.
You can't
but
forget.
I can really forgive.
I don't think it's really easy to forget stuff.
Yes, I agree.
So unless, of course, we go biblical.
Yes.
Yeah, but you can't forget. I don't think that they're scars, they're scenes. I said now, we still remember things that we did probably in primary school. What a teacher said, what a people actually did. Some of you still remember. And even remember the funny statements that people make along the way. So I don't think that certain actions can be forgotten. Yeah. I can choose in my heart to forgive you, but say, I would say that when I see you, I remember some of the things that you did to me. Like.
Well, I think I agree that forgetting is very difficult. Yes, to forget about all of these things takes a lot of grace. Yes, you actually should pray for grace to forget all of these things, because it's not easy. Sometimes the actions might have affected your future. the experiences in the past, they may have affected your future, and you cannot just forget about it because you keep facing everything.
Right.
Yes, so for forgiveness, you can't just tell somebody like, oh, forgive and forget, just like the saying goes. You can forgive biblically. I mean, Luke chapter 6 says you should forgive, you know.
So then, with the whole forgiveness.
So forgive, but the forgetting, it's a process. It's a deliberate action too on your path.
Right.
You have to make it deliberate.
But see, when you say forgive,
and pray for grace.
when you say forget, right? Forget as in, imagine I have a stepmother, all right, who has taken me through a lot of things, made me some kind of timid guy, affects my academics and all that. I turn out to be, a wayward guy.
A dropout.
A dropout. You think I'm going to be happy seeing her? I can forget about what she has done to me. It's not possible.
It'll be hard to forgive.
It'll be very
as
hard to
well.
forget.
Yeah, so that was what I was saying, that you see, sometimes what they did to you or their actions may affect your own future. So if they didn't, influence your dropout, you wouldn't have been a dropout. Maybe you'd be a doctor. But because maybe they influence your dad, or don't pay her fees, like the fees are only for my children. So you became a dropout. Because you're a dropout, you can't easily forget. Because in fact, presently you are a dropout. You can't forget. You are in the situation, but it takes grace and it takes, deliberate action. It should be deliberate on your path to forgive. It is not easy. I must confess that. It's
I know.
not easy.
I for that day, I'm on it 100%. But now here's what. Do you maintain relationship with your stepmother when you know very well the things that you have been through? Do you cut them loose when it's time for you to go away? Or like, you're out now, you have a little family, or everything is okay, like you moved away. Do you maintain that relationship or you cut them loose?
Okay, it's here and there. So I would say that you don't cut them loose just like that.
Okay.
Yes, try in your possible best to maintain relationship because she's part of the family. Whatever be the case, she's part of, she's a mother. It's only the stepdads attached.
I think that's really easy to say these things.
Yes, I have an experience,
yeah,
right?
It's really easy to say.
You saying, oh, it's so easy. It's not that easy.
No, it's not
It's
easy.
not, because
I agree.
No, Debbie, let's say you have a stepmother. As I said, you have a stepmother, all right? Then there's nothing like so much love I'm getting from this woman. I grew up and I have to just
fend for myself, do things for
And
myself.
so-
Why am I hanging
so
around?
I'm only going to keep a relationship. I'm only going to keep a relationship when my father is alive, just to keep my father happy because that's his wife. You understand?
Right.
But
Yeah.
as long as my father is no more, I don't think I have anything to do with her. There's no relationship. We have no ties.
We'll come back to when your daddy is still around, and then you're going through all of these things. That's another part of the whole thing I want us to talk about. But I don't think that keeping the relationship, it'll be hard.
I know, it's very hard.
Yeah, because anytime you see this person, you just remember all that
everything.
ordeals. You will just remember everything that you have been through.
Yeah.
That's
and more
true.
for the fact that it was of no fault of yours. Like, you're just an innocent child. You're being put through it for years. It actually dents you, or probably puts a mark on you. It gets a bit difficult at some point. I don't think that the relationship,
I know. I know.
it would do anything to me. Yeah, because when we're living together, I don't think that we have that relationship enough for us to be in the state that we were in. So that's my view.
Exactly. my
Once
view, though.
I'm out, I cut you loose. Yeah, I think I should cut you loose. Because what again are you come to tell me? When now that I am probably done well for myself.
Okay.
And on the other hand, your kids are not doing too well.
Exactly. So you're coming in because of what I have now.
Now I'm good.
I get it.
You get what I'm saying?
And
Yeah.
it makes so much sense. It's very logical to have that stance. You would want to cut the person off, and just be free and all of that. But I want to approach this on,
Biblical.
from the lens of love.
Sister,
But it's
It
not
is
easy.
hard.
I would always say that
hard.
it's not easy, but you have to look at it from the point of, the lens of love. If you want to, maybe she may be in need, maybe she's in need, or you may never know at what point you need her. Okay, let me give you an instance.
I needed her when I was little.
I
Thank
know.
you. Not that I'm going
Yeah.
out.
I know.
I mean,
You
perhaps
see?
now I have maybe
Yes.
now I have a partner who's even making me happy in life. Why would I think of my stepmother?
Right.
Look,
Or a
to-
friend
to-
who's even way better.
Exactly.
To err is
exactly.
human.
Yeah.
To err is human. So, you know,
To forgive is something.
divine.
No.
You know, so just approach it from the point of love. Okay, just love her enough to try maintaining. You can't force it. You know, there's this saying that peace abounds where grace is mutual. So when she's, you know, it's mutual. She herself also wants to come back, make amends. It becomes very easy, and there's
why is she
peace.
coming back in the
But
first
when
place?
she's there, and usually,
You get-
one
why
thing
she
I
come back in the first
observed, one thing I observed is that because they are older, it's quite difficult for them to approach you or to, I think it's just because of our Ghanaian culture. The older ones always find it difficult to say, I'm sorry for all that I did to you while you were young and all of that. But, you know,
Do they
it
ever
is-
apologize to children?
you know,
No,
you know,
no,
because of
no.
this
That's
culture
like,
of
you know, on the side. Do
Yes.
parents or older people apologize to
in
children?
this
In our
Ghana.
culture,
No,
I
but I
it's
think
not-
that-
it's not something we do here.
Oh, well,
Yeah, but
I think
we are
things are
beginning,
changing.
things are changing.
Things are changing now.
You know, things are changing.
Yeah, but
like I will scream
nowadays-
at my children, and then later on I go and say,
I'm
"Mommy wasn't
sorry.
in a good mood. Like, forgive me." Blah blah blah. But their children, they, you know,
I
they just move out of it like that. The next time they're coming back to do you harm because, like, you know, they're coming back to stress you again.
You know.
But then I think we're getting into the space where parents are beginning to apologize
Yes,
to their
things are
parents. Okay,
changing.
we'll take one message, and this is quite interesting. It actually caught my attention. So some stepmothers are very good. They treat the children well. Unfortunately, my mother was worse than a stepmother. So when my daddy's side chick came into the scene, we were happy because she treated us very special. And this is from Kojo in Ashalibuche.
Wow.
I don't know what circumstance. I don't know what circumstance will actually make a mother treat the
Child.
Yeah.
Nah, I think there are issues like
that.
It's just like, you know, a mother giving birth and trying to say, I don't want this child. Like, I want to throw this child away. I don't want this child.
But sometimes I think in that
a
frame
lot
is
of-
because of the postpartum depression. When parents, like mothers, actually go through that space and they actually don't have help coming out of it.
Yeah.
I think at that point is when they feel like, you know, after all the baby bum taking a pictures and 6 months gone, 9 months gone. Now the baby is here. Me and you buy something like work with you. Like you see, now so all other time, like the baby is out.
You know.
And you're like, so all the pee, this is it. So that's when, like, you know, the depression sets in, or probably there's nobody around to help. You know, probably the baby's daddy is not around, or he's around, but he's out there. You know, that's when I think that's when it puts mothers in that, you know, state. But after that, I don't know if mothers actually get out of it. Depression. I've had 3 kids. Okay, I have 3 kids. And I think that my depression from my first son actually went on to my second, to my third, till I actually decided, like, you know, to now settle down and find help for it. You know, because I'm a bosso. You get it? Like, my first and second is just a year. So it's like, okay, right then you're nurturing a baby and you're pregnant again. There's so much pressure. You don't get to take care of yourself. And then there's another one who's added her own depression on top like that. Then the third one to come. So at some point, you're like, you know, it's jamming up in your head. I think it's still not a good ground for you to say that I don't want my children.
Exactly. But, you know, I think there's this nature in some people. Some people are naturally like that. Like, they just don't love. They find it difficult to love.
With all the push.
Yeah, so they find it difficult to love. Imagine your very own. Not that the child is still young and probably you are trying or you're struggling to clean his bath. You are trying to, you know, get all of this. But the child is old. In actual fact, the child can help you, you know, do a few chores and all of that. But for you to extend hatred despite that, it
And they say that
means
they'll want another person to take care of them.
another
That's
person.
serious.
Yeah, that's serious. So it's like a nature. And, you know, if we are going to biblical terms, it's like the old nature. Yeah, the old nature within, but like, it just doesn't love. It's not able to love.
But
So such cases are there.
No, but
And you'd even compare and see that, well, your stepmother is loving you more than your mother. It's a very serious case.
But then, Debbie, you know what? It's more likely for a stepmother to love you because when they are winning their way into the family, and it's through you, all right? So you can have a stepmother who you might think might love you better than your mom. Because if I have a mother, or my mother, for instance, loves me, and she's not going to do anything so unique to drag more love more attention for me. That's my mom. But then a stepmother out there would happen to try, I said, I'll help to pay the fees, I'll help to do this. So they keep giving you stuff. You think they love you. They're just finding a way into the heart of your father.
I agree. I agree with you. I had an experience.
Thank you.
Okay, share it.
You know, I went to my secondary school, I went to Mary's, right? And my mother, it happened that my mother didn't frequently visit me, my biological mother. She didn't visit me frequently during visitings. You see people's parents around and all of that. But I had this particular stepmother who kept, you know, visited. And even, I think during our reopening, she helped me pack my trunk, my stuff into my room.
So my stepmother likes
She
me.
loves me so much.
3 points over there.
You know, and all of that. And I think she won 3 points. Like
She won.
she won it, yes.
From you or
My
from
dad.
daddy?
Yes.
Did
Right.
he buy a house? Or what's a Range Rover?
Maybe something like
got
that, something
car,
close
something,
to that,
right.
you know, she got something. You know, so I saw it and I was like, oh, wow. At a point, you know, let me just confess this. At a point, I felt like, I wish this one was my mother, my biological
There you go.
mother. You know, but growing up, I realized I've always been thankful for my mom, my biological mom. Your biological mom is
your mother.
It's your mother.
Yeah.
I can't be grateful to God enough for my biological mother. You know,
Okay.
but these things happen where they try to win their way, you know, through you into the family so that you can accept them. And, you know, I think she also observed that, okay, my dad really loved his children. So for him to kind of give you more attention,
Let
you
me go
must
through the
also
children.
exactly.
Right.
And she took the right step.
Yeah.
Right, so there's another message here. It's actually going to make us do a U-turn to the forgiveness part. So, what if I forgive her and she hurts me again? Right? I've worked too hard to heal. So that's what I'm saying. The minute you walk out, create that barrier
Exactly.
and blank the people out. Like, I don't see why she's coming into your space. If she had anything good to offer, she would have offered it when I was innocent and I wasn't able to think for myself and I needed that help. I don't see why you're in my life now that I can do things by myself. Do you get?
I think creating the barrier protects you.
Yeah, create the
Honestly,
barrier
it really
to
protects
protect
you.
you.
It protects you.
See, I agree with you. Protecting your heart, even guarding your heart, it's part of this thing. You have to guard your heart, guard your emotions and all of that. But let's love lead.
The love is there. The love there will show you. But I will say, make you no enter my house. The what I'm saying is don't enter my lane.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't enter my. When I put police, this is the
Barrier.
Thank
A
you.
barricade.
You don't have to cross.
Exactly.
Okay.
I can wave you
understand
from
it
where I am.
from
That
afar.
one is nice.
Yes, sometimes.
That's it's a reason why I'm saying I would love you as my stepmother,
Yeah.
my father's wife.
But stay where you are.
I mean, we don't have any ties. There's nothing that ties us together.
I get it. I get your point. Sometimes just for your own peace.
Yes.
You just want the person to
Because
stay
then she's
away.
going to be nice and come in. And then, like, you know, the two-edged, what's it called? Face or two-edged sword. Sword.
Sword.
Yes,
Thank
it's
you.
sword first, not short. What I'm saying is,
Yours was rather wrong.
you know, that is like a dagger. I mean, anyway.
I get the point. I get the
Yeah.
point. So sometimes you have to create the gap. Yes, for your own peace, for your own emotional health, you have to create the barrier.
Okay.
But always take note that like there should be love.
The love will be there. But at this point, we are creating barrier. So now that we are going to get our things to close the entrance, we'll go for a break. You're still on the Friends and Family Show. When we come back, we'll see if we uplift the barrier or we'll stay there. Okay, one more minute.
Middle, Ghana Biana. for Jibri, we have a bit if you no pan, I say, baby shit. Mangashi.
Junior!
I'm saying so enough for me, you know.
Sister Cospa, it's a winning gas.
I'm using the why. My why?
Down Yankanawa.
Ah, Sister Cos. Use gas. Gas ye fast, ye easy, ye convenient.
LPG, let me see your hand. Ooh, I got yeah, oh, yeah.
All right, you're welcome back to the Friends and Family Show. We're coming to you live from Channel 1 TV at number 5 Ola Hanson Lane. My name is Noyo Quarter. This evening, we're talking about stepmothers. Well, my stepmother actually treated me really bad. Now what? Does she want to be in my space? Do I keep her in my space? Do I continue creating that barrier? Do I have to draw her to me? Probably she's changed. Probably she's still going to stab me in the back. How are we dealing with this? Tonight, send all your messages and then let's get into this conversation, because I know very well that the Let's Laugh lead is not going to work tonight. But probably at the end of the show, we'll know if our hearts are going to be big enough to still keep them in there, but probably not keep them that close. Okay, so before we went for the break, we're talking about if we bring them back into our space. We're scared that, because that's the message we received.
Yes.
We're scared that probably they're going to, hurt us again, because we've gone through too much, and then we've taken quite a long time to heal. I'm not going to go back to that space where, I'm going to feel that hurt or pain from this particular person again. Are we still creating a barrier, or we are letting love lead?
I think the barrier has to be closed.
The barrier has to be there.
Yeah.
So let's vote. Yeah. Let's vote now.
Yeah, I agree.
Barrier. So 3. Yeah. We are sorted.
Thank you.
Eyes have
No, Papa, it has to be guarded.
No, please let us know what side you're on.
Not full barrier that you
can't have
closing everything.
The possibility of she hurting you again is still there.
It's still there.
It's there.
So you need to be careful
agree.
giving it all. So as I'm saying, I would forgive you, but I would never forget about it. I'm going to create a barrier between you and I.
Thank you.
We can be together.
By being together, it wouldn't happen. You are guarding your heart, you are guarding your emotions. But then, like I said, not totally such a way that you see the person and you just pass by and all of that. So be nice to the person, be kind to the person, but guard your heart.
So
don't let your heart cross that barrier so that you would be hurt again and will affect other things.
I want to come in somewhere.
Especially when it takes a longer time to heal and forget about all of these.
So if it's taking long, what is she doing inside? Because it's taking long for me to heal.
Exactly.
Sometimes even the person's presence alone is going to walk you down memory lane. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
You're forgiven. But sometimes the minute you see the person, it flashes. So just cut them loose.
It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that. The way life is, if we are able to predict the future, we'll simply say, okay, yes, just cut the person. You may never need the person. You don't want to have anything to do with the person. But you don't know the future.
It's true.
But I think I can tell the future from the past.
No, not always.
In the case of a stepmother who has, hated me from childhood, now growing up, you think I can't tell the future?
No, because
you think there's a high possibility that is going to repeat itself.
Change happens, growth happens. Change happens, growth happens.
Hey, are you an evangelist? Because I understand.
Sometimes there may even be witches or wizards trying to manipulate things. Let's go the other way and all of that. But they change, they repent. So when you create the barrier,
they say which cry if you repent, small than
small than like that, right? If there's no forgiveness like that, if there's no other chance, you don't create the possibility of repentance and transformation.
All right.
So give them the opportunity to repent.
This is what I want us to talk about. You know, usually we're actually talking about stepmothers.
Yeah.
And there's not much a high percentage of living with your stepmother without your father being in the picture. Usually they're there until they're not.
Yeah.
Right, because they would have to bring them in, or you would just grow up into it. They're usually there. Now, this is it. How do you deal with the father who is present and saw you go through all the things that you went through with your stepmother? How do you handle your father?
The father.
Yes.
Wow.
How do you handle him? Because even without being having a stepmother, even with your own mom, when they do you he's small. You look at your father's face, you know this. You get, you're crying for your dad to rescue you. Or your mother's chasing you with they never miss. Shout outs to all mothers, actually. They never miss. Like their slippers and the broom. It's like a boomerang. Whatever you do it to hook you at some point. You know, when you're running around, your mother's chasing you and all of that. You're always screaming for help from your dad. So what happens in this situation where this man is there, but all of these things are happening under the same roof? How do you handle the dad?
It's quite tough. So with your father being there and all this happening to you, I am of the opinion that I don't know.
He equally doesn't like me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want to put it that way, but then
he equally doesn't like me.
It's easy to conclude that way. It's very easy because I've had an experience like that where I felt I felt like my dad should take my side, okay, because I'm from your loins, like I'm your blood. You should take my side, but it didn't really happen like that.
So don't you think your father loves the woman than he loves you?
You know, there was at a point I started thinking that way, but you know that's also his wife. He's supposed to love his wife.
Oh, wow, but not love his children.
So yes, love me as well. But you know, the Bible didn't say love your children, bring up your child, right? But love your wife. So his love is to his wife, but to bring me up godly, in a godly way. So well, you see, the point is, at a point I felt like, okay, this man is like he's tuned. He's just going with his wife, and me, I'm somewhere. He doesn't really love me like that. But then now I took myself back, and I was like, okay, so what do I do now? I was like, okay, well, what I'm supposed to do as a child is to honor my father. Honoring him doesn't mean I agree with whatever he's doing. Honoring means just respect his decision. He's the head. You can't do anything. The respect
they will give you, but then you get
you get it behind the scenes.
But it's the that will make it this.
No, it's not the who don't know it is us.
Yeah.
That's why opportunity can't tie. You know. Some kind of anger. Or probably when he's going for walk, one ball catapult.
Washing a third day and all that.
Sometimes it's pain. It's pain that is acting this way. You know, you don't know how to bring it all out. You know, because you can't go and stand in front of your dad and do tobe.
No,
you can't do that.
Don't do it when you have a job. You have left his home.
Yes, but under the canopy,
that cannot happen.
You can't do that because you're either going on food, school fees dates, you get. And that good morning that she will give, I don't take what you for saying good morning, it will shock you. You get. We can't do that, but how do we handle them? Do we still hold on to that pain? Because it goes a long way.
It does.
Like, let's say for an example, I being a daddy's girl, because I was really drawn to my dad more than I was drawn to my mom. So let's say now my mom is actually doing me hi. My dad is looking on. You know? Like, you know, there's some kind of anger that's going to come. But again, if they draw you close and they go like, you know, mommy is just trying to, that actually soothes you a little. But if you're not getting that at all, you're like 2 = 1. The two of you, I and my father, you and your wife, thank you. You know, but again, I don't know how you're going to handle that.
Yeah, handling it. I think as a child,
you just let it go.
Just let it go. Because you are going to be hurt continually. You know, when you keep that grudge, first of all, you are going to get hurt. Yes. If you keep it, you would be the one you wouldn't be able to eat well. You are not able to be sound, like, because you have a grudge against somebody. You know, it affects you first. Your heart is not clean, like you hold something against somebody. So just let it go. It is difficult. It is difficult. And in such situations, you know, it's difficult to advise, but all you need to do is just pray for grace. It's difficult.
But, you know, it really hurts to have a father in the house.
Yes.
And then there's this stepmother you have who treats you anyhow. Your father comes home and he's not really talking about the whole issue. He just goes to bed. He wakes up the next morning, then he just snaps you and goes.
Yeah.
But when I come back, we'll talk, then he never talks to you. It hurts.
Yeah.
So ideally, I think it's going to be difficult. It's a difficult decision. It's very difficult to talk about.
Yes.
Okay, so me personally, like let me just share a personal experience. So I grew up in a home where, like I was saying, I was really drawn to my dad, not too drawn to my mom because she was the ha all the time. You know, when you're growing up, you don't actually understand when they are in that state until you become a mother, right? So I held on to a lot of pain towards my dad because like some of the times he wasn't coming through for me. On days that I'm expecting, that's like, you know, say something, you know, he's not saying. So I held on to that for a very long time till I was grown. I didn't understand it. So when it was time for me to like, you know, now let it go, and then like, you know, I'm now understanding that, look, it was a tough situation also for my dad. Because you can't take the side of a child when they're in front of the woman.
Yeah.
You can only go and talk to her behind closed doors. You can't reprimand actually my mother in front of me. Where's the respect going to come from the next time?
That's true.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I didn't see that all that was happening behind closed doors. And I was holding on to the fact that my dad wasn't up for me. The time that I realized that, oh, he was doing this behind closed doors, and you get. Yeah, so it gets very difficult. You know, parents can't really express.
Yes.
But during the last days, he kept saying, oh, you're my favorite child. I did this and that and that and that. But then there was no time left for me to say, okay, now, you know, I'm out of it.
Yeah.
Now I want to buy you the shoe that you wanted. You get, now I want to go see the movies with you like you had wanted, that I was always clocking because I still had that pain that you didn't come through for my guy day or day, make a day, my day. You get. So sometimes I think that we need to release it a little bit because you don't know what the future holds.
Exactly.
You can forgive them. I'm talking about the dad too, not the one that do me the haircut today.
Thank you.
You know, I'm talking about
The dads.
you can forgive them because they can't do it in front of you. You don't know what's happening when they go to the room to, you know, have a conversation.
Yes.
Sometimes the lighter part will give to the dads, you get, like, you know, we'll
I
embrace
agree.
you and all of that.
I
So
agree
yeah,
with you.
sometimes it's hard.
It's hard,
Bye.
but sometimes they do it behind our backs, just like you're
We're not
saying.
seeing it,
Yeah,
you know. We're not seeing it. The time
Uh-huh.
that we realized that, okay, they were actually on our sides because they can't do it in front of mommy. Like say, hey, I don't know because the next time when you are not there, the quote you receive.
But sometimes some facial expression will say you are thinking about a child.
No, but they can't do
They
that
can't
when
do
the
it,
woman
yes.
is there. When you're away, they can say that, so, you know, mommy is being mommy.
Exactly.
You know, they can
Yes.
tell you that, but they can't tell you that
In front
in
of
front
the
of
woman.
mommy.
No.
You understand?
Yes.
We'll give it up to the dad. Sometimes they do a
They
good
do
job.
well. They do well.
Shout out to Mr. Quarter, man. Anyway, we've got some messages. Let's take them real quick. Hello, Noyo. My stepmother always treated her kids better than me. I used to cry myself to sleep. Now she wants a seat at my wedding. Let her come and see her eyes.
You
didn't turn out bad.
My wedding.
Yeah, you don't
So-
let her come.
Well, I don't think you have to come for my wedding.
Why? That's too extreme.
Michael, that's hard.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so
hard.
in a situation where I have a mama who is alive.
Yeah,
don't
but there are plenty of seats there.
No, you can't. You don't have to be there. We don't have anything to. You don't have to be there. My mama is alive, and you, the stepmother who treated me bad, is coming for my wedding.
No, but
and
she
you
has to come and see
No, there's no
what
see.
the Lord has done in your life.
The Lord has done for me, not for her.
Hallelujah.
No. For me, I think, seriously speaking, I don't think you should come for my wedding. It's not right to me, especially when my mom is alive. No, you don't have to come.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't think they're very, very petty. I
I'm not being
guess.
petty.
petty.
This is being real.
Yeah,
I live with my stepmother. You didn't treat me fairly, all right? Now I'm grown, make a worry. Then you take a seat. I want to come for your wedding. To do what? Why are you going to even sit in the first place? Are you gonna be,
But you will give her the seat.
Yes,
No, even if you don't want her to sit in front, where
so
like
is she
you
going to
know,
sit with my father or going to sit with my mother?
she's a guest.
She's a guest.
Yeah.
Okay. But then I still don't think I need my stepmother anyway.
No, but you have to take your pettiness to the next level.
No, so
your pettiness is on the ground
so-
level.
see-
Let me show you proper pettiness.
No, see, so this is-
Let
What
her
is
come.
that?
The Casantre, that's what happened on the dance
no,
floor.
but you see, my enemies cannot even
Hey.
come and witness with their naked eye. You have to see it on
No,
video.
but he prepares
Oh,
a
come
table
on.
before you in the
In the
presence,
presence of your
Please,
enemy.
at
Behind the
least.
screens.
You know, guys,
No,
that's
no,
how
no,
dance
no,
be.
no,
The
no.
that's how dance your
You
area.
know.
So,
You know?
but I mean, for my opinion,
But
I don't think
well-
you are allowed to
Oh,
come.
come
to our
on,
wedding.
no,
come
no,
on.
no.
That's really
Anyway,
petty.
more messages.
that's really
Ambassador
petty.
Royal is the name. Hi, Ambassador. I love the lady's way of expressions on the issues. Do not carry negative burden with you because of the past. I have faced several challenges when it comes to parents who step in instead of your mom or let's say an auntie. It was not a good record to behold, but I take care of her and my cousins as best as I could.
Wow.
But you see, forgetting the past is like forgetting history.
Yeah,
And when that happens, advice becomes a problem in the future.
that's true.
So both sides.
Yeah,
Okay?
that's
And then
true.
this one says, my name is Ben from Tema. Hi, Ben. Why do you think stepmothers are always bad? There are good stepmothers who treat their stepchildren very good. Not to sway away from that. We're just trying to, be on one side. We're not entirely saying that
All
stepmothers are bad. We're only trying to focus on a particular question that we decided to discuss. Okay, so hello Noyo. My stepmother always treated her kids better than me. I used to cry myself to sleep. Okay, I read that. My mom gave birth to 8 children, and she treated 6 of us very bad. She was intentional about it. Fortunately, we excelled in school and got good jobs. Before she died, she said she wanted to be buried in a private cemetery. And I said, no way, in capital letters and exclamation mark. I even didn't attend her funeral. Oshe, this is Kojo Shalom Oshe. I second.
Hey, Kojo.
With my 2 hands and my 2 feet. I second.
So Kojo has my view.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, Kojo
No,
has-
but where's the money that is going to bury you in a private cemetery?
Anyways,
Get money or where?
Well,
be a nice
With
transition.
whose money?
well, I
Sarah.
agree. I mean, to waste the money, it becomes a waste.
She deserves a
No,
Masbury.
she
That's
just
the
wants
way
to finish you puzzle before she goes.
When your Masbury, I don't know.
but not attending the funeral at all is also something. I mean,
No, but Debbie, I don't know, but your thinking is different, all right?
I don't think so.
Me see my wedding, you're not coming. Talk less of the funeral.
Michael
But this
Saka,
one
Ajay.
says, he said he didn't attend the funeral.
Of course, I wouldn't attend your funeral.
Yeah, that's really
That's
intentional
extreme. Yeah,
because
that's
he's saying that
quite extreme.
she was intentional, right?
So the
But you
funeral
know,
and then the wedding, which one is
sometimes
more? Which one is more
There's
bad?
one thing that I want to.
No, the funeral and the wedding, which one is more bad?
The funeral will not be painful like that because she can't see that you are not there.
But that says a lot. Hey, oh my, we can even go.
It doesn't mean anything
But that's
to
a bad
you.
case. But if you say that the wedding all bad, and people come and they're holding souvenirs.
Charlie.
Eh, she should assume she traveled. That's it.
Oh, that's,
Come on, you're
that's
petty, you.
extreme.
You know, it's even going to hurt me when she walks in my father. Hey, Charlie.
It's true. I see that scenario.
It's
Yeah,
nothing.
let me tell you something though.
Let's
I
just let
attended-
it
I
go.
attended a wedding like that where the stepmom was sitting right by the father. The stepmom and the father were in the same cloth.
Oh.
All right. Your friend, yeah. I said,
Yeah, Mejiaba.
yeah, Mejaba. Like I know. Then the mother was actually in a different cloth. So what picture are we painting here?
So the mother still Mrs.?
Yeah, the mother was no, the mother is not Mrs.
Okay.
There's a Mrs.
Okay.
And the Mrs. and the father have done how do you call it?
Yeah.
So in that case, there's a confusion here. I'm Papa and Mama. Papa and Mama Iriniana. Exactly. So
But that's the truth.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
no.
You said Mr. and Mrs.
Uh-huh.
Was
now-
your friend's mom the side boo?
No, she was actually a
And
first wife,
second wife.
but
First wife.
first impression na eba ba amfa.
Okay.
So she wasn't married.
She wasn't
So
married.
is this one that was
Exactly.
legal?
But why do you come to my wedding the same cloth to my father?
That was not your business.
I
So
see.
it's your mother and your
Yeah.
father matter.
Oh, okay. Then they are both not coming anyway.
When they were doing arrangements, what was her mother?
Did you say they are both not coming?
They said that she would not wear the clothes.
No, but you were saying we give her a seat behind, right? In this case, Omuti no masa shirt at the cross. Thank you.
But it can happen as well. It can happen. You know, it's dicey. It can happen.
There's one thing that I want to actually point out. You know, sometimes God allows these kind of things to happen. Okay, so just to prove his power.
You always have to put a God factor inside.
you know, because you can't do anything without that, you see. Sometimes he just allows this to happen. For example, you have a rich dad, you have a rich stepmom, but they are refusing to take care of you. So then, in fact, growing up, you think that, oh, I can depend, my father can take care of me, buy all this stuff for me and all of that. But he ends up not doing that. And for all you know, it is God's own plan for you, so that you learn to depend on him and not just your parents or your step-parents. And then God comes through for you, just like this lady who, you know, the 6 of them became, you know, for all you know, it's God's plans for you know, so that we are not saying like, you know, maltreating your child or your stepchild is good, but sometimes
my director is actually saying
something.
Uncle. She said, I wish I had a kubo
I mean, I think you're not even entering. Actually, the woman, no, my father has
it's painful, you know, it's painful.
No, but at least you get sele. You'll be able to get sele.
I think your director is good, but for me, you're not getting sele. I think it's a conversation we need to have. It's a conversation we need to have even before the wedding. Who are you coming? Are you coming with her?
Plus one.
And she's coming as what?
Okay.
You see, and
because my mom and you are my parents.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're trying to
so
in the picture, she's going to stand by my father.
I
mean, to prevent all that, you don't come. And to me, I feel embarrassing crash. Like,
no, I think it's an awkward situation.
Exactly.
I get it.
Maybe I don't even want somebody to know the situation my family is in or something. So I don't think it's right. Yeah, for me, I don't think it's right.
So we still have more messages. I'm loving this evening. We still have more messages. My stepmother is an amazing woman. If I didn't tell you she was my stepmother, you would never know. That's how natural and loving our bond is. Before she married my dad, she asked him to find and bring home any child he had out there.
Wow.
Mother Teresa.
Very big hearts.
Mother Teresa.
Very big hearts.
Anyway, because of her, I met my biological father for the first time when I was 13 years old. I'm now 39. I love her deeply, and she loves me like her own daughter. She would sacrifice anything to make sure I'm okay. May God continue to bless her. Amen.
Now before we continue, does the stepmother have a child already with a man?
If you can hear me, that's
another question.
Yeah.
If she doesn't have a child, then bringing you in is very easy for her.
But this is someone who's asking that if you have any other wayward, you have drop your seedlings anywhere, bring them.
But in a situation where the person, in a situation where you have a child with the man, right? Do you think she's going to actually say, "For money now, come home"? I mean, when we are looking at the whole stepmother thing, it's about property sharing and all that too. No, I mean, let's be real.
So in your case, you're asking that if she has a child to herself, she definitely doesn't want to know the others.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, I mean, technically, that's how this whole thing happens.
Okay.
So it's a fact that, I mean, they try to fight for property and all that. So, I mean, we can't come and share that unless the man may be a billionaire or something.
Right. We're getting to more talk. Oh, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to say that, you know, I understand your point, but, you know, sometimes people have these big hearts. And for the love they have for the man as well. Some people can be, very big heart.
Then I think they have a small heart.
They have a very minute.
Minute heart.
Yeah, some people have big hearts like that. We shouldn't ignore that.
Well, that's also there. We're not necessarily like, trying to delve or dwell on the bad side. There's a possibility that, So, more messages, and not a stepmom, but an auntie. They can actually fill the space also as a wicked stepmother with a grin and horns and tail. She treated me so bad. Now I behave as if nothing happened. Give her gifts, call her from time to time. I can see she fears me because she can't predict what is in my mind. I love this. This is when everything is soft and succulent. I strike you from the back.
Hey, nah.
I think
that's good. That's a good approach.
Well,
if only there's nothing behind.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's a good approach.
She's not too sure.
and
You know,
is he also too sure what
Yes,
she's
coals
thinking
of
too?
fire.
Yeah, you two, are you too? Are you sure about you don't want to
Exactly.
strike?
It's coals of
Are you
fire.
sure?
I say the whole you know, and those things. It's good. It's a
That's
good
when
approach.
you haven't asked for forgiveness, but they come and mirror.
But something can still keep being bad to you.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I said. But when you are doing this and they're not too sure, that's when they come to say mirror. That actually has things, you know. Anyway, hi, my name is Jason from Nungwa. Please, host, I enjoyed the show. Thank you very much. Nice topic, and thank you for educating us. God bless you. Bless you too, darling. And good topic. Some stepmoms are hell, but grace has been on our side.
Yeah.
Happy to see my queen giving all out. Go higher, baby. Oh, hi. Anyway, now you're with the stepmother discussion. You were not fair. Oh, I'm a stepmother, a good one. You see, you're a good one. Let us come and test the waters, please. I watched the program with my stepchildren.
Hey, I don't want better idea.
I said, do you know the impression? The man is so unforgiving.
I will learn to forgive it. I will learn to forgive
Oh,
it.
we are sorry. But we're not only trying to say that stepmothers are bad. We're just, dwelling on a particular topic that we chose, which is my stepmother was really bad to me.
Yeah.
How do I deal about it? Like, what now? What does she want from me? Not necessarily saying that stepmothers are mad. Nah. No, we had to create that caveat, or we had to give
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
We are
it's true.
sorry,
It's
but that's not what the intent is. It's actually because we're talking about a particular topic.
Yeah.
As in, my stepmother was bad to me, personalizing it to a particular person's story. And so we're not saying, if you're watching with your stepchildren, darling, we're not saying that our stepmothers are evil. Okay? What we're just saying is we're talking about a particular topic. So some of them is good. You can actually attest for your own self,
some are good,
okay?
some are good, some are good.
And in the marriage ceremony, your father's wife is your father's guest. Not you, though. It's your ceremony.
one.
You cannot prevent your stepmom from attending. Life has its own terms. Now, I mean, pay the
No, but I have
Plus one.
let's say I have a guest list. All right.
Okay.
I know I can cater for, let's say, 100 people, and I bet 101. I mean, you don't have to come there.
Come on, that's
But
extreme.
this one is so extreme. I know I'm with you for most of the time. But this one, yeah.
Debbie, listen to me, right? So, you didn't treat me well in the first place. And honestly speaking, these days, people are all trying to do weddings within budget. So, my wedding was within budget. You know. So, you see, at the end of the day, if I'm going to serve, let's say, 50 people, 51, we're going to know it won't happen. You don't have to come.
Okay, it's fine. But I think that you have to change your mind at some point. It's your father's plus one, like
Well,
you said.
in 10 years. In 10 years.
In 10 years.
Yeah.
Right. I'm so glad that you actually don't have a step parents, because other than that, this heart's dear. They will beat to kill you for town. Because
But now the issue is, a stepmother who treated me bad. If she was good to me, I think she would have been in my wedding. I'm telling you. If she was good to me,
we are just praying that you have a change of hearts.
I pray so.
I want to pray. Let's pray for him.
Amen.
In Jesus' name, receive
Amen.
it. Take a softer heart now.
Amen.
All right.
Receive
On that note, since we are delivering soft hearts to people, and we are praying that you loosen your hearts towards your stepmothers tonight.
Yeah.
This is how far we can go, and we've been talking about this topic, not necessarily to make stepmothers look bad, but actually because we posed a question from a particular perspective. Now, this evening, we've had a very wonderful time. I'm grateful for your time, grateful for all the messages that you have sent. It has been the Friends and Family Show. We'll be back tomorrow, same time at 6 p.m. We've been coming to you live wherever you're watching us from Tessano, Channel 1 TV, number 5 Ola Hanson Lane. I'm Noyo Kwote. It's good coming your way always. My love to you all the time. Have a good evening. Mwah.
Looking for the latest buzz in Ghana's entertainment world? Welcome to Ghana Weekend, your ultimate destination for all things creativity and entertainment.
Stay in the loop with breaking news, exclusive interviews, and then insider stories from your favorite creatives and stars. From music, movies, fashion and art, lifestyle and culture, Ghana Weekend brings it all together. Get a daily dose of entertainment, discover new talents, and never miss out on the creativity that defines our vibrant culture.
Stay connected with us across all platforms. Follow us on Instagram